Hey, it's Barb, and I had a question about how do you get a hyper horse to calm down? Like, what do I do? So I thought that was a really interesting question because it brought to mind something that is different between humans and horses. So when we ride, sometimes it's a little counterintuitive. And that is that when we as humans get all hyped up, what we try to do is be more still. We breathe, hopefully talk to ourselves in kind ways, and feel our muscles, all those things, and bring our energy down. With horses, if we just like stand on them, like let's say they're really hyper, and we stand and just like pet them and try to just get them to stand and they're antsing, actually, without meaning to, we're reinforcing that behavior because that pause in activity is actually a reward for them. So with horses, it's the opposite of people. What we want to do is we want to keep their feet moving, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment. So the two things to remember are that if our horses get amped, that we want to bring our energy down, just like I talked about for, making sure that we're calm. And then we want to move our horses' feet, move their feet, move their feet. And then when we feel their energy come down, then we stop them and just kind of check in with them. If they start moving around again, then we move their feet, move their feet. They're not in trouble, it's not punitive. It's just we are redirecting their energy. So let's go to the arena and I'll show you. Before I start moving Nick around, I want to follow up on one more point that I mentioned before. When our horses get really amped, it's easy for us to get amped too. And so the way, or the energy that you have when you move a horse's feet can be anything from, like you being really amped, trying to move their feet, to you being calm, yet moving their feet. Calmness has nothing to do with the amount of, say, enthusiasm or activity. So you can be very calm, yet very energized in engaging your horse's feet. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Second thing is that while it doesn't look like it here, Nick is really a pretty hyper's not the right word. He can be very alert and get nervous and reactive in a second. Like he'll be walking along real quiet and then he goes, and then his energy really comes up and he gets nervous. You probably won't see that today, so because we're home in our arena and he's comfy, so we'll just pretend like that happened, and I'll show you how I would move his feet if it did happen. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, so I'm going to be walking along, and then we're just going to pretend like Nick kind of gets excited. I'm going to show you how I would move his feet. And it doesn't matter exactly how you move their feet. By how, I mean like exactly what you do. You can do counter arcs, you can back in circles, you can back straight up, you can walk in a circle with a little bit of oomph. You can do any number of things. The big thing is that you move their feet and you wait for their energy to come down. Okay, so here we go. So let's say I'm walking Nick around and everything's cool, and all of a sudden a little bunny rabbit runs out from the side and he spooks and he starts moving, going side to side. I would split my hands, although you don't have to split your hands. And I would make sure that my energy was down by breathing into my core. And now I know that it happens really fast, but as you start to get very connected to your own energy, you'll be able to immediately drop in the saddle and make sure that you don't come up with your horse. And then by move their feet, I just mean like just ask them to work a little bit. Work, 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 work. Now, I might stop. And, oh, he took a big breath, which is great. But let's say you felt the energy come down and you let your horse stop as a reward. But then they immediately started to get hyper again. Then you just do the same thing. Or you could back in a circle like this, using this left leg to move his hip to the right. Circle, 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 circle. I might switch directions. Take a breath, maybe move forward, come like this again, maybe walk like this, and then I'd stop again and check his energy. And then when he's standing here, calm, then he gets to stand. Okay, so those are the two things. Keep your energy down and move your horse's feet. So I hope that helps with your horse if and when he or she gets hyper. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think.